Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with some more updates coming out from the war between Russia and Ukraine, and I've got lots of big news to share with you today. So it looks like Russia has done it again, launching another major missile and drone attack into Ukraine, primarily targeting their energy grid. We have reports from Volodymyr Zelensky saying that 93 missiles were launched of various types, at least one North Korean missile being used, and 81 of these missiles apparently being shot down, 11 of which were shot down and intercepted by F 16 fighter jets, and nearly 200 drones being used also in this attack. I've got lots of video footage coming out today from Ukraine, just like what you're seeing here. I'll show you guys this on the big screen in just a little bit. These are Russian missiles flying into Ukraine, targeting their electrical grid. Now, as far as I know, most of these attacks were taking place on the western side of the country in terms of the missiles being used. Looks like Russia was trying to go after their thermal power plants and electrical facilities on the western side of the country, closer to Lviv. Multiple regions being hit. But it does look like the Ukrainians were able to intercept a good majority of the missiles coming into their country and the drones. So I've got lots of information to go over today and share with you guys. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this. So let's hop into this on X over here with Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. He states another Russian missile strike against Ukraine, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles. According to preliminary reports, 93 missiles were launched, including at least one North Korean missile. A total of 81 missiles were shot down, 11 of which cruise missiles intercepted by our F-16s. Additionally, the Russians used nearly 200 drones in this attack. This was one of the largest strikes targeting our energy infrastructure. This is Putin's peace plan to destroy everything. This is how he wants negotiations, by terrorizing millions of people. He is neither limited in long-range capabilities nor in acquiring the necessary components to produce missiles. Oil gives Putin enough money to believe in his impunity. A strong reaction is needed from the world. A massive attack must be met with a massive reaction. This is the only way terror can be stopped. If leaders fear responding or become accustomed to terror, Putin sees it as permission to continue. Patriots are needed to shoot down these missiles and prove that terror will not achieve its goals. Sanctions against Russia for the war must be strengthened to genuinely impact Russia's missile production. Putin won't be stopped by empty talk. Strength is what is needed to bring peace. Strength is not that is not afraid of its ability to confront and stop evil. The world can stop this madness, and to do so, it must first stop the madness in Moscow that has been ordering terror for over 20 years. Strength is what is needed. Ukraine is grateful to everyone who is helping. Okay, so major statement coming out from Volodymyr Zelensky today. We know that they're calling for something like 20 air defense systems that they're needing, including Patriot systems. I think they want like Iris-T systems, NASAMS, as many air defense systems as possible. We even heard recently Volodymyr Zelensky calling on the U.S. and its allies to send over, I think, somewhere around 10 or 12 Patriots to completely close off their skies. This apparently would help them out a lot. So obviously Ukraine needs a lot of air defense right now, and they've been doing a pretty good job of shooting down a lot of these incoming missiles and drones into their territory. And I've got lots of video to show you to prove that today. Okay, also from Anton Gerashenko, Russia launched 93 missiles and almost 200 drones at Ukraine, according to President Zelensky. Russia attacked Ukrainian cities with cruise and ballistic missiles, including Kalibr, Kinzhal, and Iskander missiles. There was at least one North Korean missile. Russia also used almost 200 drones in this attack that were flying in the Ukrainian sky for more than 10 hours. 81 missiles were shot down, including 11 cruise missiles shot down by F-16s. The equipment of the thermal power plant was seriously damaged. It is the most massive attack on, this one's going to be kind of hard to pronounce, but I think it's Prikarpatia. Since the full-scale invasion, the regional military administration said critical infrastructure was hit. In Lviv region, energy facilities were attacked. In Ternopil region, the enemy's missile attack resulted in negative consequences, according to the regional military administration. In Cherniv region, cattle died in a drone attack on a farm. Buildings and an educational institution were damaged. In Mern, Kharkiv region, 4 people were injured. Civilian infrastructure was damaged. A drone also hit the roof of a 5-story building. I'll have pictures showing you that in just a little bit. It is one of the largest strikes on our energy sector, and this video shows fragments of a KH-555 missile was found in a yard in Ivano-Frankivsk region. Okay, so we've got this video to show you guys here too. We'll keep it muted, but we can see fragments of one of these missiles here found in what appears to be somebody's yard or something here in front of a house. So yeah, there you go. There's one of these missiles already in a video here showing you that has been shot down inside of Ukraine. Okay, so we've got more things to show you now from Andriy Sybiha. He is the foreign minister of Ukraine. Says massive Russian missile attack on Ukraine this morning, primarily targeting the energy system. Russia aims to provide us of energy. Instead, we must deprive it of means of terror. I reiterate my call for the urgent delivery of 20 NASAMS Hawk or Iris-T air defense systems. Okay, so again, they're calling for lots of air defense systems right now inside of Ukraine with these ongoing strikes from Russia. And I've been warning you guys for the last several days now that Russia was most likely going to carry out another major missile attack onto Ukraine, as we've been seeing over the last probably 2 weeks now that Russia really hasn't been firing any missiles into Ukraine really at all. They have been firing a few drones here and there, but for the most part, missiles not really being used. And whenever we see that happening for several weeks at a time, we know that a major attack is coming. But this is also due to a response from Russia from Ukraine attacking the Taganrog, the city of Taganrog down in the Rostov region just a few days ago. ATACMS were used down there to strike an airfield and also some other critical infrastructure. Okay, so this was a response to that, to U.S. weapons being used to strike targets inside of Russian territory. All right, moving on to another update from NOAA Reports. Cruise missiles over Ukraine earlier today. Zelensky said that a total of 93 missiles were used. The Air Force has not yet shared official numbers. We've got a 15-second clip, and I believe this should be the video that you guys had on the waiting screen when you came in, showing these missiles flying over Ukraine. Take a look at this. All right, pretty frightening to see that. Somebody at their house recording these incoming cruise missiles heading on over to most likely the western portion of Ukraine is where a lot of these missiles were used and fired towards. So I'll show you guys a map in a little bit that shows the trajectory of where a lot of these missiles were headed. So moving on to another update from Tendar, impressive footage of more neutralized Russian missiles by mobile Ukrainian defense units. So here's Ukraine's air defense teams shooting down incoming missiles and drones into their territory. We got a 1-minute video here. Take a look at this.
Yes, Bill! Ти догнав?
Догнав?
Ні.
Стоп!
Догнав!
Молодюха! Молодца! Сука! Сука, на тебе, пидорас!
Є, пішла вниз. Є, вот летить. Є. Збили.
All right, there you go. So a nice little compilation, a little 1-minute video there of Ukrainian air defense teams shooting down a lot of these incoming missiles. You can even see in one of these clips, they were using a MANPADS launcher to take down one of these incoming cruise missiles as well in this video clip right here. So pretty insane, but good job to the Ukrainian air defense teams on taking down a lot of these incoming cruise missiles. Also from Bliskovka, a soldier from the Galicia Volin Radio Engineering Brigade destroyed a Russian cruise missile with the Igla MANPADS. Okay, so here's another video of a incoming cruise missile being taken down with a MANPADS launcher. Take a look at this. All right, the rest of this video is for the most part muted. But yeah, so very cool to be able to see that, right? Ukraine using these manpads to take down these incoming missiles. But at the same time, kind of sad to see that Ukraine has to do this repeatedly, come out here and defend their country from these incoming missiles and drones into their territory literally every single day for the last 2 or 3 years now. So very crazy video to show you right there. But yes, lots of successful interceptions being recorded here in multiple videos. Also from Bliskovka, this is how Ukrainian air defense forces worked that night. The footage shows the area of responsibility of the Eastern Air Command. So we got a 28-second clip also released from Ukraine's military. Take a look at this. All right, so this video showing clear interceptions of Shahed drones coming in from Russia that Ukrainian air defense teams were able to take down as well. So pretty cool video to see right there also. Now moving on to another update from Ukraine frontline. Ukraine at this very moment is under Russia's massive missile attack. Negotiations about what? And he tagged Donald Trump, the incoming president to the United States, and also Elon Musk. So here's a little map to kind of show you guys the different regions, basically almost every region coming under attacks. And it looks like we had 4 regions here that took direct hits from these incoming missiles. But definitely a lot of them were targeting the western side of the country over here. I'll show you guys that on another map right now. From next, this is what the route of the occupiers' missiles and drones looked like during the morning attack on Ukraine. The main target of the Russian army was the western regions of the country. Okay, so we got a map to show you guys the trajectory of these different missiles and drones coming in to Ukrainian territory. Now, the yellow is for the most part drones that we can see that were attacking mostly the eastern and central sides of the nation. If you notice, so the white, purple, and this kind of light blue color, even some of these pink ones, are all the missiles coming into the country, and you can see a lot of them attacking over here on the western side, most likely thermal power plants or any type of electrical substations on that side of the country were being attacked. Who knows, maybe even some NATO facilities over there. We have heard of that in the past as well on the western side of the nation. So it looks like that's where a lot of the missiles were headed yesterday, was the western side of the country. Also from Military News UA, Ukrainian F-16 fighters shot down 11 Russian cruise missiles today, Zelensky said. So here's a picture of some F-16 fighter jets, and yes, 11 apparently were shot down with the F-16 fighter jets that are currently deployed to Ukraine. Okay, also from next up breaking, IAEA, 5 of Ukraine's 9 operating nuclear reactor units have reduced power output due to renewed attacks on energy infrastructure. As Nexta earlier reported, the occupiers staged a massive attack on Ukraine today and tried to hit about 300 targets with missiles and drones. Okay, so the IAEA is warning right now that Ukraine is at risk of a major nuclear accident over here with their nuclear reactors, okay? As, lots of these attacks on the energy grid, potentially put these nuclear sites at risk of major incident due to lack of power, okay? So that's not a good thing as well inside of Ukraine. This also shows how fragile Ukraine's energy system is right now. And, with this other hit, once again, just today, this is definitely going to put them in a worse situation as we continue to get into the colder months of winter. Okay, also from Bliskovka, Russian strike on a residential building in Kharkiv with a drone, reports the regional military administration. Last night, a Russian UAV hit the roof of a 5-story building. A fire broke out. The roof of the residential building and window glazing were damaged. Got some pictures here of some of the firefighters responding to the scene as a drone struck a residential building once again in the city of Kharkiv on the northeastern side of the country. Here's a picture of that building that took a direct hit on the roof, and they had to save some of the people that were probably trapped inside of this building after it was hit, probably even caught on fire. So very sad to have to report this once again, but Kharkiv being hit repeatedly. As you can see, it's snowing here as well inside of Kharkiv. Okay, also moving on now to military news UA. Putin is considering launching Oreshnik in Ukraine tomorrow and Sunday, according to the Financial Times, citing a representative of the U.S. National Security Council. Okay, lots of reports coming out today that Russia's preparing to launch another one of these Oreshnik medium-range ballistic missiles into Ukraine again. Now, the question is Russia going to arm this thing this time, okay? Because last time, it doesn't look like it was really armed with anything. They could definitely arm this thing this time, and they're claiming that, this thing can get extremely hot whenever it does strike a target, kind of mimicking how a nuclear weapon would be used. It can also strike deep down into the ground, destroy facilities under the ground. And we've also been warning as well that inside of Kiev, that even the parliament at one point, they closed down for the day in fears of attacks there. So is Russia going to fire one of these things into Kiev tomorrow? We don't really know what's going to happen, but I have a feeling if Russia does fire another one of these, it won't just be on the battlefield. It could potentially be used inside of a major city inside of Ukraine. Hopefully that won't be the case. And Russia does claim that this new Oreshnik ballistic missile is a non-nuclear weapon. It is a conventional weapon that they could continuously use, and they are mass producing this thing right now. Okay, so very scary. Could be seeing that happening tomorrow or Sunday. We'll see what happens. Also from Anton Yeroshenko, a video appeared reportedly showing Russians moving their equipment to the naval base in Tartus and Hamaimim Air Base. Earlier, this equipment was located at small Russian bases in different places in Syria. According to local sources, columns of military equipment have already moved from the south of Homs towards Tartus. Seems that Russia's making all the necessary preparations for the complete evacuation of its military bases in Syria. Russia's Mediterranean forces have already left the Syrian port of Tartus. Security guarantees for Russian troops received from the new rulers of Syria after the downfall of Bashar al-Assad most likely concern only the withdrawal of Russian troops, not their permanent deployment. Also yesterday, Russian media was spreading the news that the Russian Defense Ministry had an unofficial understanding with the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham organization, or HTS, that Russian forces could remain at the Hamaimim Air Base and the port in Tartus. The situation seems to have changed. Yes, so yesterday we had reports that Russia was supposedly going to be able to keep their two bases inside of Syria, I think one in Tartus and the Hamaimim Air Base. The naval ports, of Tartus and their airbase Hamaimim. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. We've been seeing lots of videos coming out showing huge columns of Russian military vehicles heading towards some of the bases on the western side of the nation. This possibly indicating that maybe Russia's going to be leaving completely, and this situation could have changed where Syria is no longer going to be allowing Russia to remain in the country. So I don't know what's going to happen over here, but there's definitely lots of indications that Russia is going to be completely withdrawing. We've also been hearing that lots of cargo planes are showing up at some of the air bases inside of western Syria as well. And lots of cargo planes also indicating potentially that they are leaving. So we'll see what happens over here. But these are just some reports coming out today. All right, also from Azov South, Trump does not want to see Ukraine in NATO yet, but wants to see it as a heavily armed and independent. Okay, so this was according to the Wall Street Journal today. Now, it's looking more and more likely that Trump is not going to completely abandon Ukraine. He actually came out and said that yesterday as well. And we have been hearing that maybe if this war does get frozen on the eastern side of the nation and they create some sort of demilitarized zone or whatever happens over there, maybe foreign troops will get deployed to the eastern side of Ukraine as well. It's possible that we could see a major arming of Ukraine. Okay, we could be seeing Ukraine being heavily armed in the future, and Trump may initiate that. Don't know for sure if that's going to be the case, but the Wall Street Journal was reporting that today. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks and months in regards to Ukraine in the future. Also from Max 24 today, Ukraine faces a choice to be with Russia or to disappear from the map altogether. This was according to Dmitry Medvedev. Apparently he had stated this today. And I'm not sure really what that means. I mean, he has come out with lots of nuclear saber rattling in the past. That did happened to seize recently. He stopped saying those kinds of things in terms of nuclear weapons and threats towards Ukraine. But now he's coming out once again and saying that Ukraine will be wiped off the face of the earth. Now, is this some sort of threat in terms of the Oreshnik ballistic missile that could be fired very soon? I'm not sure, maybe. But he is coming out once again and starting to threaten Ukraine. Okay, so some big news today. Also from Military News UA, the Pentagon will make a historic attempt to transfer a huge amount of weapons to Ukraine in the next 5 weeks, according to CNN. We are talking about weapons that the U.S. promised earlier, hundreds of thousands of shells, thousands of missiles, hundreds of armored vehicles, and other critically important capabilities. Biden's team is trying to make it to Trump's inauguration. Okay, so more reports of heavy arms going to be heading over to Ukraine very soon. And, obviously Ukraine is supposed to be heading to the negotiating table supposedly in the next few months. We'll see what happens. But they want to put Ukraine in a very strong position, and it makes sense that they would be sending lots of weapons over to Ukraine very soon. So this information just coming out today. Expect lots of weapons packages, and I have one to announce today that was just coming out in just a moment. Also from the Kyiv Independent, these are the indicative estimates of Russia's combat losses as of December 13th, according to the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Okay, so we've got another diagram here to show you guys. 1,390 troops, roughly, that Russia lost, according to Ukrainian intelligence, over the last 24 hours. 31 APVs, 50 vehicles and fuel tanks, 5 tanks, 6 artillery systems, 65 UAVs, and looks like that's it here on this diagram to share with you guys. So again, right around that close to 1,500 troop loss that we're seeing almost every day in terms of the Russian military, okay? Finally, one last thing to share with you guys. I think this was actually coming out yesterday, but I want to share this with you because I wasn't able to show this in our update yesterday as it came out afterwards. But from Defense of Ukraine, the U.S. announced a new military aid package for Ukraine valued at $500 million. The package includes counter-UAS munitions, ammunition for HIMARS, 155mm and 105mm, artillery ammunition, high-speed anti-radiation missiles, unmanned aerial systems, MRAPs, HMMWVs, I think those are Humvees, light tactical vehicles, CBRN, protective equipment, Javelin and AT-4 anti-armor systems, TOW missiles, small arms ammunition, demolition equipment and munitions, spare parts, ancillary equipment, services, training, and transportation. We are grateful to our American partners for their leadership and unwavering support. Together, we will win. Okay, so another weekly aid package going to Ukraine. We've been seeing anywhere from like 5 to like 700 or so million over to Ukraine weekly, and we know that the Biden administration is going to be doing this every single week all the way up until he leaves office. And it looks like, again, according to that other report we had just a moment ago, a major aid package also going to Ukraine very soon as well. We also have that $20 billion in economic aid also for Ukraine that the U.S. and also the European Union is putting together to be repaid through frozen Russian assets. So lots and lots of support going over to Ukraine from the Western nations. Okay, so lots of updates coming out today from Ukraine. And I hope you did enjoy today's update. If you did, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.